Welcome back to another episode of Uncut Long War 2. Today's soldier is inspired by a character from the novel All You Need Is Kill and the movie Edge of Tomorrow. It's brought to you by Black Cloud 288. She was 22 years old when the alien invasion began. When the fighting was at its worst, the aliens were dropping chrysalid into cities and rural neighborhoods to quickly purge them of human life and expand their own force in the process. Her hometown of Pittsfield, Illinois was one of the cities that was decimated by this nightmarish alien swarm. The girl managed to survive, but living through an apocalypse scenario isn't always a good thing. She was left hungry and injured for several days until a US Army rescue party passed through her town in search of survivors. When they picked her up, they called her Rita Vrataski. It was a case of mistaken identity, but the young girl decided not to correct the error of the soldiers. She wanted revenge and thought joining the military under a fake name and identity was a good way to get it. And besides that, everything she'd known had already been destroyed, so starting over didn't seem like such a bad idea. Alright folks, if you turn your attention to the top of the screen, you will see that there are 20 days, 21 hours, and 50 minutes until we all die. The Avatar project is nearly complete, which means we have to start destroying alien facilities as soon as possible. There are 3 of them relatively close by that we need to start making our way towards, 2 in Africa and 1 in Europe, but there's also one in New Indonesia that we have the ability to destroy right now, and that's what we're going to do. So let's take a look at what squad is going to blow this thing off the face of the map. Okay, just like the previous mission, we are bringing a very well-equipped squad with us, the best of the best, and in the first slot, we've got none other than Oliver Hunter Jones. He is a returning character from the previous playthrough, and he's looking mad. He's looking like he's been itching to hunt some aliens. He's a rogue this time. He's got a spider suit, SMG, pistol, and a frost bomb because he loves freezing those aliens. And he is spec'd out to be a lone wolf rogue, so if he can get isolated from the rest of the group, he will get some bonuses because of that. Next up, our first specialist, Alfie Green Jelly O'Brien. She's our healer once again with those med kits, the Mind Shield, and the Magic Man Gremlin. Akani Pile coming out of retirement. She is a combat hacker, so she's got that, what's it called? The Skulljack and the battle scanner to give us a little bit of extra awareness. Then Santa the Deliverer Claus, ready to bring presents. He is equipped with a rocket launcher and plasma grenades. We've finally upgraded to the next tier of grenades, so those aliens better watch out. We're going to shred some armor very, very easily with that. And we also got a very cool piece of armor from Grimmy's Loot Mod. This is the Mangler. It is giving us extra hit points. It is reducing the damage we take from explosives, and we gain increased aim by 10% when we're injured, so this is going to counteract the effects of red fog. Pretty interesting stuff here. And of course, what is an elite task force without Frederick Blackjack Carter? We know him. We all love him. He's got the Mind Shield again and a med kit just in case he gets damaged up, and he's, you know, just in the thick of it. He wants to be ready to patch his wounds up so he can get right back into the action. And of course, he's using Sheila Fires' shotgun because that thing is a beast. And finally, Liam Markle's making his epic return. He's got a Gauss sniper rifle, which is going to do a tremendous amount of damage, and it's kitted out with a superior scope. Alright, first things first, I have a fan on in the background. If it is making too much noise, let me know in the comments and I will turn it off the next time. But I gotta let you know I am really hot right now and I need it, okay? So if there is a little bit of background noise, you know, sorry, not sorry. This episode wouldn't be enjoyable if the fan wasn't on. For anybody, it would be bad for you and bad for me. But what we're going to talk about today is something kind of interesting for me. Some artist stuff, some creative stuff. Taking a risk by doing this move. But I'm assuming for the moment that the enemies are a little bit closer to the objective, and I am assuming correctly because we're not going to reveal ourselves on the first movement. But we're going to talk about some art stuff today. Because for those of you who either don't know or don't remember, I am an artiste with a capital A. Looks like we got our eyes on the first pod here. Making a lot of bold moves, but they're not getting punished, so it's okay. Our assumptions are correct for now. But for those of you who don't know or don't remember, I am an artist with a capital A because I am a photographer with a capital P. I take pictures. I get paid to take pictures sometimes. I get paid to take pictures sometime next month and the month after that, maybe even sometime this month. Depends how things work out. I don't get paid that much because people are cheap, but I get paid to do it, and I like doing it. I'm a professional artiste, and it's nice. But because I'm an artist, that stuff bleeds off onto the other things that I do, like content creation. I look at YouTube content creation as being artistic, and that's why the overviews that I make, the mod spotlights that I did for the Xcom 2's Long War perk pack, I looked at those as chances to be as artistic as I possibly can, as creative as I know how to be, right? And it's a learning experience too, right? You know, some things are better than others. If you look at some of my old content, like the Long War perk pack overviews, those are significantly less polished than some of my newer overviews. And that's what art is all about. It's about learning and improving and gradually becoming better the more you do it, right? And I understand that. I acknowledge that. But that's where the stuff starts to get interesting. That's where we start to go into a rabbit hole, as it were. It's one of my favorite phrases. And we're gonna go down the rabbit hole today. We're gonna go down that rabbit hole by talking about Kevin Hart. Now, before we talk about Kevin Hart, we got to consider how we engage these enemies. And I'm thinking maybe just a full-blown Overwatch and start off with a bang, start off with a rocket to the face. Because the problem is we've got 3 explosives that we can use to shred armor, and I always consider being conservative as an option with my explosive, just kind of dishing them out as I really need them. But sometimes it's better to be reckless. So I'm gonna try and get Santa Claus to use a grenade on every single one of his turns, because damn it, these aliens need to die. And you know, who better than to kill the alien than the jolly bastard Santa Claus? So let's put everybody else on Overwatch and kick this off right, except for Blackjack. I like to save Blackjack for the cleanup, and maybe even Liam Markles. We're gonna leave Liam off Overwatch as well, because depending on how this plays out, that'll determine what his next move is gonna be. I have plasma grenades, but I'm gonna start off with the rocket, just because. Yeah, I'm gonna start off with the rocket. Why not? Boom. Merry Christmas. 9 damage to the Viper. Critically hit as well. Shredded 1 point of armor off. No, 2 points of armor off of the shield bearer. The Viper's burning, so even if we miss it, which is not going to happen,
Did you see that one?
who cares what all the possibilities were? We succeeded. And now this pod is within our range. Oliver Jones taking a shot at the Mutant, and that thing is going to get bruised up very severely. And now we're seeing why I left Liam Markles off of Overwatch. Depending on how this played out, I would have either taken a shot at maybe the shield bearer or the Viper, or I would have steady weaponed, but not realizing that I was going to get another pod. I can now take a very accurate shot at these enemies. I'm going to go for the Mutant just because it is pretty much guaranteed that he dies, and this will also trigger our death from above, which will allow him to steady weapon. So the next turn, he's going to have increased accuracy. Boom. And we could do something ridiculous. We could sprint over to the Codex and then shoot it in the face with Blackjack Carter, which is going to cause it to split, because I can't land a 13 damage crit. There's no way. But hey, why not? Why not go big? Can you feel it? Can you feel the tension right now? The fact that I don't know what other enemies on the map, and I'm debating whether or not if I move Blackjack Carter to this position, that he could die. Blazing Caveman, your boy Frederick Blackjack Carter has been through a lot. And he is one of my best soldiers at the moment. I don't want to put him in unnecessary risk. But sometimes you gotta pull the trigger. Alright, so the clone is gonna come out. It's gonna flank everybody. But it's only got 1 HP, so I think this is gonna be a good decision. Now let's take a look at what other enemies we got on the map. The Advent Captain, Heavy Mech, and a Mech Archer. A lot of rockets we're gonna have to worry about. I believe the Mech Archer will shoot at even a single isolated target, and then we have a standard mech with a Mutant Centurion. I've never seen the capabilities of the Mech Archer. I know it has increased range over its other counterparts, but I don't know its behaviors yet, so this is gonna be interesting. So there goes the teleport, and the purple stuff gonna come out, and it's gonna hit 3 people, which is very unfortunate. But we're gonna be able to move out of it safely, and we're also gonna be able to kill both pieces of the codex, because that one done fucked up. Well, how about that? Blackjack Carter has the most sarcastic sounding British guy voice that is available in the game, and it looks like he also has a shot on this codex as well. But I think what I'm gonna do is try and be aggressive with him, because aggression is gonna pay off considerably in this, because we need to kill targets. We need to put targets in the ground, or else they're gonna punish us. That's the only way we're gonna get out of this. Precision shot 30%. 30%. You know what? I'm gonna take a roll of the dice. Liam Markles, show me what you got. Daniel Michalchuk, your boy is whooping that ass. We're still not gonna see the capabilities of the Mech Archer because it's freaking dead. All right, so let me get back to the topic at hand of talking about Kevin Hart and artist bullshit. His first 3 specials were an epic trilogy, the likes of which the comedy circuit has never seen before. It's the best and one of the most cohesive 3 stand-up specials that I've ever seen. Maybe there's others that are just as cohesive or even more cohesive, but as far as I know, his first 3 stand-up specials were a very solid pair of 3 really good works of art. And it's undeniable. Whether you like Kevin or not, those specials are just objectively good on their own and as a pair. His 4th special, and this is going to be a little tricky to keep up with if you don't follow stand-up, or if you don't like Kevin Hart or whatever. It's going to be a little tricky, but I'll annotate it on the screen if I remember. His 4th special was not as funny as his 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. But in terms of scale, it was much bigger. Now, what does that mean? His 4th special was in motherfucking Madison Square Garden. I don't know how many people fit in the Madison Square Garden, but it's a lot. So that's a big deal. He's doing big boy stuff. He's changing the game, if you will. And I'm just trying to decide at this point how I want to kill the Codex. I know I can kill it. The question is just who gets the final blow. And I'm thinking it's going to be Blackjack Carter. He has an 80% chance, which is not in the realm of guarantee, but it, you know, there it is. And then Oliver Jones, he's gonna have to start he's gonna run over here. Hopefully he doesn't get flanked, but I'm feeling confident about this. I don't think his lone wolf is gonna proc just yet, so he's not gonna be in the most optimal positioning. It is gonna proc. He is getting some extra defense because of his positioning. So let's see what happens here. So right, his 4th special, bigger scale, not as funny. His 5th special that just came out, What Now? Much bigger scale than Madison Square Garden. Ah, shit. He's going to use rockets, so it's not going to instant kill him, but it is going to destroy his cover, forcing him to... it didn't destroy the tree. Trees are too strong. Bigger in scale. It was in a football stadium in Philadelphia. But it, again, was not as funny as his first, second, and third. And what's even worse, it wasn't even as funny as the fourth. So there's been a steady decline in the objective level of funny. As a person that analyzes stand-up comedy and just is a big fan of the art form, whenever I watch a special, I break it the fuck down. You know, I really try to understand it for what it is, for all the little nuances. I try to it's a hobby. It's a hobby of mine. Stand-up comedy, watching stand-up comedy and understanding stand-up comedy is a hobby for me. Right? So I can say I'm decently knowledgeable about it, right?
Seems doable.
So I'm comfortable saying that his fifth special is objectively less funny, right? So, what's my point? My point is, I wonder if Kevin feels that way, or Mr. Hart, or the Black Midget, whatever he's called nowadays. I don't really know. I don't know how he refers to himself or how he likes to be referred to. But I wonder if he knows that to be the truth. Because it's an objective truth.